Hey guys, so in this question, we're asked to find the structures for each of these compounds given just the molecular formula. So in part A, we have CH4O. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with making a carbon chain. So since we only have one carbon, we'll just draw one carbon here. And I'm going to bind my oxygen to that carbon. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to saturate this carbon with hydrogens. So I'll add 3 hydrogens here. That leaves me with 1 hydrogen left from my formula, so I'll go ahead and bond it to this oxygen, forming a hydroxy group. I'll fill out the octet for oxygen by adding 2 lone pairs of electrons, and that gives me that this compound is methanol. Moving on to part B, I have C2H6O, so I'll start off with making a carbon chain with my 2 carbons, and I'll go ahead and bind my oxygen to this second carbon. I'll do the same thing as last time and saturate this carbon with hydrogens as well as this second one. So that gives me 5 hydrogens on my carbons. So I'll bind my last hydrogen to the oxygen, forming another hydroxy group. And I'll go ahead and put my lone pairs to fill out the octet. And this gives me ethanol for part B. Part C, I have C3H6O2. So the first thing I'm going to do, again, is draw my carbon chain. And this time I'm going to bind oxygen to this last carbon right here. I'm going to go ahead and saturate the rest of my carbons with hydrogen. So 5 hydrogens on these 2 carbons right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the last hydrogen to this oxygen right here. And I'll fill out this oxygen's octet, and that leaves me with this carbon right here, and I'm going to need to fill out its octet by making this a double bond, and then adding 2 lone pairs of electrons on this oxygen. So this gives me a carboxylic acid, or just propanoic acid, since there are 3 carbons. And our last one, part D, we have C3H8O. So I'll go ahead and make my carbon chain and bond the oxygen to this carbon right here, saturating all my carbons with hydrogens. And this is going to give me 7 hydrogens that are attached to my hydrocarbon chain. So that means my last hydrogen to make 8 will be bonded to this oxygen, making hydroxy group. This is going to give an alcohol or a propanol. So these are the 4 structures for each of these 4 compounds.